Hi, it's Connie here from Prosperity Finance. I hope you're doing well. Now, if you're in Auckland, congratulations. We finally finished level 3 and things just start back into normal. So I'm certainly very grateful about that. Today, I'm going to talk about first home buying strategy. Now, normally buying first home, you have your personal criteria. It's just unique to yourself. However, the house getting really expensive, you probably feel really challenged to buy your dream home. The LVR recently tightened up investor a lot. We can see that more first home buyer inquiries than investors. However, it's still getting really expensive. So today I'm just want to give you some tips in terms of what kind of buying rule you should set when you purchase your first home. Especially you can't really afford the dream home, then how we can do it in a couple of steps. My number one tip is get onto the property ladder as soon as possible. Don't just keep wait. I have customers from the first inquiry to doing the pre-approvals. It's a long time. It's over a year. But if you've been in the property market, you will see, how quickly the property value grow over the last 12 months. The same property probably grow at least 10 to 15% at the moment. So don't keep waiting. If you get onto a good property, then the capital growth, if you buy right, the capital growth is higher than the speed of your savings. So that's my number one tips. Number two tips is focus on the equity. Well, you probably think equity is more for investors. Buying rule is equity focus. Well, I think for first home buyer in today's market, equity is equally important, especially if you can't buy your dream home straight away. Now, the reason for that is, as I said, you just get onto the property ladder, but just don't buy everything. Now, if you buy right, you focus on the equity, you can, your property grow in value, and then later on in a few years' time, you can sell your property, or you can keep that property and buy the next one. What's challenge is to have the sufficient deposit, because the property is going up in value. So later on, if you upgrade home, let's say now you're living in an 800K house, and in a few years' time, you want to live in a $1 million house. You need more deposit or equity, right? So if your property doesn't grow, your first property doesn't grow, it's very hard to get the sufficient deposit for your next property. But if you buy right, have that capital growth, that will help you significantly. For example, let's say you buy an 800K house, you provide 80K deposit, which is 10%, you borrow 90%, 720K. Now, in 3 years' time, let's say that property worth $1 million, and you sell the property, paying your agent commission, you should be able to get 250K in hands. Now, hopefully by then, and I believe will happen, banks still allow 10% deposit. So your deposit is no longer issue, right? You got 250K in hands. If at 10%, you can buy up to 2.5 million in terms of deposit requirement. I know you don't need a 2.5 million house, but I'm just trying to illustrate. It's easy to get the deposit if you buy the right property that has the capital growth. So there are two principles to help you to choose the property that has the most equity potential. Number one is buy as close to the CBD as possible. Property growth has a ripple effect. If you buying a property close to the central area, then you have a higher chance of getting that capital growth. Now, the number two principle is you buy a property that has, the area has a lot of infrastructure investments, because that indicates the population growth. And then there's more likely there will be more people demand that property in that area. So that also boosts the equity for your house, right? The third tips is to buy an existing house than buying a new house. Now, I often hear people say, oh, I'm going to buy a new house, it's a new build, etc. It's going to be more comfortable, less maintenance. However, you can't really do much with the new house. It's brand new. You can't really renovate anything. And also, most of the new houses these days are built as terrace houses or apartments. What's causing the capital growth is the land, but there's little land, right? And with the terrace houses, probably stay away from the new build and then focus on the existing property, because that's also help you to add some value and grow the equity faster. That's on top of the organic growth. So these 3 are my tips if you are first home buyers. Now, it's not only suitable for people who can't purchase their dream house at the moment. It's also for people who can purchase their dream house, but also looking to buy more property later on. The same principle apply. Focus on the equity side. It will help you speed up your plan and get on to the next property ASAP. So hopefully you find these tips useful. If you have any question regarding buying first home, feel free to get in touch with us. We're more than happy to provide advice. Thank you. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.